Right, this is an interesting one and probably the biggest head-to-head that has ever been on Golf YouTube, because it is this tee versus this tee. And the claim is that Swifty, the 10-degree tee, will increase ball speed and help me hit the ball longer, launch higher, and just overall be far better performance than a good old-fashioned pink tee. And that's what we're going to find out in today's video. So the first point to mention is I bought this box of tees from Amazon. They were £10, so that equates to £1 per tee. So first of all, durability is going to be an issue because that's quite expensive in my book. And what you'll need to know is how long did it take before that tee went from looking like that to, well, looking like that, because it is an important issue at an expensive tee. But more importantly, looking at the tee shot on here, was that with the pink tee or was it indeed with the Swift tee? Because essentially one of the two outperforms the other in a number of different areas, but there's perhaps one key area where they differ, and it might be that one tee suits one player and the other is for another. So the considerable difference first and foremost is the height of the tee, and unfortunately because of the indoor setting, that is as low down as I can make the Swifty. And the idea is that this little arrow that you can see on the front is pointing towards the target, which then sets the ball at a 10-degree angle and creates what would look like probably an upward blow. So already the trajectory or the lie of the ball suggests that we're pointing towards the sky. And that's a key factor that I found out in the testing. And then I would use a tee similar to the height of a castle tee. And as you can see, there is a considerable difference as to how those two would be at address. Now, arguably outside, I can push that tee just a little bit lower and put it to the height of the castle tee. But for today's video, we're using a 10.5-degree driver head, and that is the tee height for both of these. But it is an important issue. And like I said, can also be very beneficial, because what you will find out in today's video is tee height is very, very important and something that I would have personally dismissed in the past. Right, I'm going to start off with all the energy going into the Swifty. 10 shots is what I'm going to hit with this tee, see what happens in terms of ball speed. I'm also interested in see what happens in terms of launch, because I think that's also a key parameter as well. Do we start to spin the ball too high? What happens when I have the tee in a position that is quite considerably different from me, what I would normally see? Now, a lot of people like it teed up this high. Like I said, right now, I'm thinking I'm just going to sky this ball. I'm going to leave a mark on the top of my driver would be my greatest concern. But that is what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to go for 10 shots with this position and let's see what happens. Here we go. First drive. So 10 balls hit and some interesting findings to say the least. The first one being on shot 8, I managed to break a tee. So that wasn't great, but we carried on, and from the numbers you'll see on screen, well, let's talk about dispersion first of all. 8 balls down the middle found the fairway. 2 would have gone left, arguably out of bounds, but 8 from 10 will take it. 215 carry, not a great carry distance. Clubhead speed was 94.9. I would say my average clubhead speed is 95 mile an hour, so bang on where we'd want to be. 18.4 launch, peak height 106, spin rate of 2911. They are the 3 very interesting factors for me. Every ball that I hit launched incredibly high, and with an average launch of 18.4 degrees, it certainly suggests that whether we increase ball speeds, I'm not so sure. Did we launch the ball higher? Absolutely we did. Did we get a peak height higher than I would want as well? Absolutely we did. So there's some standout criteria there that suggests that the Swift tee does one thing, and that's launch the ball high. And that could be a real key parameter that would help a lot of golfers. So don't go anywhere, and let's just see how that compares now to my normal setup. Pink tee, 10 more shots. Here we go, some nice music, 10 swings. What happens next? Well, the good news is the cheap old Castle tee did not break and they're all intact, so it outlasted it in terms of durability. In terms of dispersion, let's go there first of all. It was okay, I think that's very much, I don't think there's any difference in dispersion today at one straight and the other. Absolutely not. All those balls would have been in play. And we've got, first of all, a gain in distance, a 10-yard gain in distance, which is significant. So let's say I buy into the marketing hype, I buy myself these Swift tees and I'm 10 yards down. I'd be a little bit concerned straight away. My club head speed did raise a little bit, and arguably that 1.6, 1.7 mile an hour would have equated naturally to a little bit more of a gain of distance, maybe 5 to 7 yards. So then the difference becomes maybe negligible, 5 to 8 yards difference in carry distance. The ball speed, exactly where I'd want it to be, a good relationship between club head speed and ball speed, but it's the launch angle which significantly changed. Which I know you would say, well, of course it does, and yes, I would agree. With that lower tee, I would expect it to have changed launch angle. But it's nice to see that it does. And it's a much more suitable ball flight for my swing and what I'd want to see with driver. Spin rate at 2477 and an average peak height of 92 feet. Look, this is a bit of a kind of fun experiment almost. It's over Christmas. We're not taking things too serious. But I think what I found from today's video that I would have dismissed in the past, that key height is hugely important. Whether you're buying into the Swift tee concept, I'm not so sure. What I do know is that it certainly helped with launching the ball high, and that's a criteria which a lot of golfers will struggle with. So if you've got a slower swing speed, then there's every chance that these tees, or a higher tee than the pink, might be something that can help you with that situation and improve ball flight, improve your carry distance based on being able to launch the ball just that little bit higher. So give it a go yourself, not necessarily with a Swiftie. Get down the driving range, try a few different varying degrees of tee height, see what impact it has on your game, and you never know, it just might end up with being an extra 10 yards in the bag and no one's going to sniff at that. Right. As ever, thanks for watching. Like I said, a bit of a fun one today. Let me know your experience with tee height. Has it impacted on your game in a positive or negative way? And I will see you all soon.